Hello, boys and girls. This is Professor Nelson from Electronics. If you have several LED lamps that are burned out and cannot be repaired, as is the case with this LED lamp, many of its LEDs are burned out, which is why its repair is not recommended. However, it has some components that are still useful, which we can use in different projects. In this case, we're going to use one of its components to recharge our lithium batteries, which we can then use in different projects. The method I'm going to teach you is quite simple and easy to perform. So, without further ado, let's continue with the video. Okay, the component we're going to use is this one here, which is a diode bridge. You can find these on these types of electronic boards, or on these types of electronic boards. As you can see, it has 4 pins, and that would be the component we're going to use. Let's remove it, and then we'll look at a little theory. Very well. Now for some theory. Here we have our diode bridge, which has this encapsulation. Diode bridges have 4 terminals, and this would be their symbol. We have 2 polarized pins, where our lithium battery should be connected. The positive to the positive, and the negative to the negative. As for the power input, we're going to use a 5-volt charger. And we're going to connect it to the 2 remaining pins, which are these 2 here. Now, how does the circuit work? So, let's look at the connections. The negative terminal must be connected directly to the battery's negative terminal. And the positive terminal must be connected directly to the battery's positive terminal. In the case of the remaining pins, this is where the charger or USB connector must be connected. As for polarity, it doesn't matter. Positive can go up, or positive can go down. Now, the operation is as follows. When I put positive on top and negative on the bottom, in this case, this diode will work. Therefore, positive can pass to positive and toward the battery. However, 0.7 volts must remain on the diode for it to work. In the case of the negative, the same thing happens. The negative would have to pass through this diode to negative, losing 0.7 volts. Therefore, we have a loss of 1.4 volts in the diode bridge. So the battery will only receive 3.6 volts of the 5 volts we'll be supplying through the cell phone charger. .6 volts are enough to keep the battery charged and ready for use. Well, that's the theory. Now let's move on to practice. Very good. Now we are going to solder the USB cable into the AC inputs. So you can solder it on this side or on this side. The polarity of the USB cable doesn't matter. Now we're going to connect it right here to the positive terminal of the battery, and to the negative terminal of the battery. Very good. Now we are going to do the tests with our battery. Notice that it's discharged. It has 2.7 volts. Very good. We're going to use a cell phone charger, and the recharge will be done through the diode bridge. Now we connect our charger. If the diode bridge gets hot, you can disconnect it. However, over time it will cool down because the charging current to the battery will decrease. Very good, guys. As you can see, the battery continues charging. We have 3.4 volts. Now keep in mind that the diode bridge may get a little hot. But don't worry, it's normal. However, if you don't want it to get too hot, you can place a 5-watt, 3.9 ohm resistor in series with the battery. And that way, the diode bridge won't get as hot. Or you can replace the diode bridge with a larger one. Okay, we'll disconnect the charger. And you can see that the battery is still charged. And this way, you can charge your batteries if you don't have another way to charge them. Well guys, this is how I would conclude the video. And don't forget that if you like the video, a like helps the channel a lot. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.